What's up, people? How's it going? So, spoilers for the new Punisher One Last Kill special on Disney Plus. Um, so, at the beginning of this special, we see. Before I get into that, I see a lot of people misinterpreting or misunderstanding what this special is, especially the beginning stuff. Especially this one dude. If you watch the John Campea show, he did the the people don't or what are people thinking about this special, where he commentates on others' opinions and everything. And one of the last guys on there, the white British dude or the blonde-haired British dude, said that John Bernthal and the creators of the Punisher don't understand the Punisher. No. With all respect in the world, you dunce. No. Totally John Bernthal and the creators of this one shot and the creators of the Netflix show and the people at Marvel clearly understand what the Punisher is. Beginning of this special, we see Frank drinking. Heavily drinking. Sitting there on the bucket, talking to his military buddies. Then you see him on the ground, and the bucket's flipped back over, and he pukes in it because he's been drinking. And then it's like the next morning or something, he goes to the coffee shop, and then through the television broadcast, we see that the Nucci family has been taken out. And that he's responsible. And they were like the last bit of crime. People in New York who were responsible for his family's death. So clearly, Frank thought killing the Nucci family was going to make it all better. And it clearly didn't. And it clearly hasn't. So when we have him in the beginning puking his or freaking out and drinking and talking with his military buddies and then puking into the bucket, we realize that he's relapsed back to what he was, because in Daredevil Born Again Season 1, he seems like the Punisher. He seems like the Frank that we all know and love from the comics, the stoic, brutal Punisher. But Bernthal and Co. understand this character so well, unlike the British dude on that John Campea put on his channel. Frank thought killing the Nucci family would take the pain away because they're the last bit. And that didn't happen. That wasn't ever going to happen if you think about it. Frank relapsing back into drinking and everything is exactly what the Punisher should, what something that Frank would do, especially somebody with that amount of grief in there. We see Frank after the coffee shop goes to the graves of his family at the cemetery, has his breakdown, goes back to his apartment. That's when Nucci shows up and tells him that at 6:47 tonight, that's when all the gangsters will show up with the bounty hit on him. And the glorious violence happens after that. And then, once Frank makes it down on the ground, he goes after Nucci because he makes it up to the roof. And he looks down and sees Nucci down there. When he jumps down to go get her and makes it off the construction thing, and then he sees the guy get pushed down, which is hilarious. The guy gets pushed down, he's like, fuck! And he jumps off, hits the bus, hits the ground, like John Wick from, what's that, John Wick 2 or, no, 3, it's 3 or 4, I think it's 4. Hits the bus, hits the ground, goes after Nucci, gets kind of sidetracked by a couple people trying to get at him and everything. Nucci's able to get into her car with her bodyguard guy, and they drive away, and that's when Frank realizes, because the coffee shop the coffee shop that he was in earlier, the owner is yelling out for his daughter. Frank realizes at that moment that Ma Nucci can wait. And I think that's what's going to be happening in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Frank's trying to take out Ma Nucci, and Spider-Man's like, hey, we don't need to do this anymore. You don't need to do that. And he's like, fuck yeah, I do. And then I think we're going to get a TV show or a movie with him hunting down Ma Nucci and all her people. And I can't wait for that. I hope to God. Again, I think people are kind of misinterpreting the beginning of this thing, where people understand with grief and everything, there's stages of it, and sometimes you revert back, and sometimes you go forward, and sometimes you revert back. It's what stages of grief are. Trust me, I've had some grief in my life. I've had some people die in my life. I've met some dogs die in my life, where it sucks. It's the worst thing ever. So I think people just saying that, one, fucking Bernthal and Co. don't understand Punisher is wrong, and two, this being a regression is also factually. I shouldn't say factually. It's just incorrect. What are you doing, my girl? Hi, my baby Naya. It's just wrong because it's what's gonna happen. Sure, it's been 10 years, but like with Batman, if you take away his family or his parents being killed in the alleyway, Bruce Wayne never becomes Batman. If you take away his family dying, Frank Castle never becomes the Punisher. So I think people being like, why is this still happening? Because that is a core. That isn't a core, it's the core thing of the Punisher. Without his family being killed, Frank Castle doesn't become the Punisher and doesn't punish criminals and bad guys. And he's also a human being who loved his family. If my family died, I'd be sad. If my dog died, I'd be sad. Most people would be sad if their family died. What I mean. And it's just, Bernthal is fantastic in that scene at the cemetery. He's fantastic in the scene in the beginning when he's drinking. He's fantastic in the scene with Karen. It's just, I don't understand why people are saying, oh, it's more the same. Sure, but it's also, he's a human being. He's a guy that lost everything. Look at his apartment building. He has nothing in there. He doesn't have a couch, doesn't have posters on the wall, doesn't have a TV. It's just him, a bucket, and a fucking bottle of whiskey or vodka or whatever it was. It really blew my mind when people are like, it's more the same. It's not more the same. It's Frank. It's the Punisher being the Punisher, and it's one of the best portrayals of the Punisher we've ever gotten on film, and I loved it. And it's great. And John Bernthal is fantastic as his character. He is by far the most complex, emotional, one of the most brutal versions of this character, by far. And I loved it. That's why I love this special so much. I thought it was really well done. And I can't wait for the future of the character. I'm still a bit scared what they're going to do with him in Spider-Man, how he's going to be. I don't think he's getting much action, because if it's action, it's going to be PG-13 action, and I don't think that happened after the special. But I'm excited for what could be at the end of that Spider-Man movie, and what it could lead to, because I can't wait for him to go after Ma Nucci, and I would love to see that, because that would be fun. So that's just all my things, what I want to talk about, what I think people are misinterpreting or misunderstanding about this special. What do you guys think? Let me know below. Talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye-bye.